Okay, it's recording. Thank you.
Great. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Plumbing, Pipe, and Examining Board. Today's date is November 5th, 2020. At this time, I would like to have the members of the board review the minutes of the last board meeting and ask for a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept.
We have a motion to accept. Chris Bowman?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Who's that? Who's second?
Vinny.
Vinny. Thanks, Vinny. Okay. All right. We have a motion. Any further discussion on the minutes? So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Deny. Okay. So moved. Okay. On to the agenda for November 5th here. We reviewed the minutes. So we have DCP investigation complaint status reports that were sent over to us yesterday by email. Does everybody have a copy of them in front of them?
Yes.
Yes. Today, thank you. Janita Hamill today is going to be representing Pamela Brown for the department as well. Of course, Janita is always here for us as well with Pamela, but Pamela couldn't make it today. So if Janita, you have any questions in regards to the status of any of these complaints, Janita is here for us today. Good morning, Janita.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, board members. Good morning again, Commissioner.
Good morning, Janita.
Morning. Morning.
Morning. Let me know if anybody has any questions. We'll move on. Having said none, we will move on. Thank you, Inspector Hamill, for this report and being at our meeting this morning.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.
We'll move on to old business, the proposed well drilling and geothermal systems regulations. Do we have Cynthia Fernandez with us today? I believe Cynthia was working on those regulations and stuff. Is there any update on anything from the department?
Not that I know of. I mean, you know, she does get the staff that does get the agenda and minutes, but
I don't see anybody from legal here.
Right.
On the participant list. Maybe attendees. Hang on. No.
Okay. All right. Well, with that said, I know they were kind of moved along, so we know that they're going for, I believe, if I'm right, Commissioner, regulatory review to next step, I guess, for the regulations.
I'm not positive, actually. So I don't know if did anybody let legal know that they were on the agenda for today, or was it just if they opened the agenda, they would have seen it? I can try to email Leslie and see where we are with those regs while the meeting's going on.
It would just be if they open the agenda. I didn't send a step in, but
okay, they may not have.
Thing.
I'll check and
okay.
with Leslie, see if there's an update or Cynthia on those regs and pass it along.
We had an update last time we met, which wasn't that long ago. On October 8th, Julianne did provide an update, but you know, whatever you want to do.
All right, well, I'll shoot Leslie an email and see if there's an update.
Great, thank you, Commissioner. We'll move along to the application review working group designated by designated board member. I have been currently assisting for the plumbing board, the weekly or bi-weekly meetings with Todd Birch, Richard Herbert, myself, heating board chairman, Barrio. I believe that at some point, sometime a glass board representative will be there. The sprinkler board chairman, Waskowicz, is there as well. If there's an electrical board, of course, Chairman Larry Vallers. So as these applications do come across the department to be looked at, that doesn't have basically a a stamp to completion of an apprenticeship that comes obviously in front of the board. So we are getting those. I have been working with them. So we approve and disapprove certain types, because a lot of times applications aren't complete and the department follows up with letters back to the people that are requesting to take the license. Has anybody got any questions on that?
Oh, that's good that you're reviewing it though, and that the stuff is getting kicked back and you're able to get the right information to the people so we can try to get our employment levels up, our trade levels up.
Chris, we get so many uncompleted applications where information is incorrect. There's a couple instances where there's some things that just don't jive, and we all seen them all before in application processes. So we kick them back and we can send them over to investigations as well to look into where these people have been all these years, where they've worked or not been registered as an apprentice. So we do take that very seriously, as you all know, and we do kick that back through Todd and through Inspector Hamill as well. These individuals do get CC'd. The agency gets CC'd on all this, which I like to see that as well. Any other questions on that?
Yeah, I have a question, Chuck.
Sure.
And
Go ahead,
it's
Melissa.
for Janita. Janita, how are you handling inspections during COVID and this whole weird year that we're having? How are you dealing with that with your department as far as on-site inspections or not on-site? Just a quick update.
We have PPE. We at the beginning, we're waiting for it to come in. It has come in. We, as Pamela would tell you, we look at each site individually. And when we do go out to a site, we also determine whether or not it's going to be safe for us to go on. I went on a site and they had a medic trailer there, and I was stopped at the trailer to get my temperature taken with my PPE on before I was even informed that I needed to go to the GC's trailer on that site. One of my inspectors went on a apartment complex site and comes back and says he's the only one there with a mask on. So we're trying to take it case by case.
So you're able to do on-site inspections though, it sounds like, and are you
yes,
finding
we have done them, but we are very careful about doing it. The other thing is we try to make sure we got to look, I have to maintain and make sure that my inspectors are safe.
No, I get that. We're all struggling with that with all of
and myself too. So we go to the GC's trailer, we try to find out, do they have masks? Who's responsible for it? And basically from an OSHA training, they indicated to us during the training, because I put the question out there, that it's the contractors who are responsible to maintain that their employees have the necessary PPE.
Yeah, I get that. I was just wondering if you're noticing more people cheating, for lack of a better or a nicer word. Taking advantage of the COVID situation, I would say, with
not that we're aware of at this time.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that it hasn't happened or it isn't, but not that we've seen.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Melissa, is there anything else?
No.
Yeah, add there? Okay. All right. So with that said.
Hey, Chuck, could I say something on that?
Sure.
Just as our organization, we go out on a lot of different jobs, probably more public jobs, a lot of private jobs too, but we like to check the certified payrolls if it's not a union job, just to make sure that nobody's cheating. And, from what we could see on the certified payrolls, they have to list their plumbing license or their heating license. We haven't seen anybody trying to take advantage of the situation either.
Oh, that's good news. Great.
Yeah, it's difficult today. to work out there in the field, making sure that we're all having everything that we need to wear for our guys, and making sure, I mean, I tell the guys, when you're with a customer and stuff like that, if you could be 12 feet away from somebody, do it. We have the uptick in Eastern Connecticut now, so it's more important that where our bases of my company is, that we got to really pay attention even harder to maintain. Because when we go home or we bring it to family members or they give it to us, we have to be, we're even doing overboard stuff, but the customers appreciate it at the end of the day. And, having licensed people work in your home, properly licensed, and you come in and you look like a professional, people really, it gets around, the word gets around that you're taking care of them, because, you've been trained the right way. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Michael, for that. Let's go on to, we'll go on to discuss the timeline extension of the online continuing education offerings in the 2021 cycle here. We can discuss, we have some draft language that everybody has in front of them that the electrical board had used to extend for themselves the, to move forward to correct the, allow the extension to happen until the February 9th piece. I'm sure the commissioner can talk to us why the February 9th, 2021 date is being used. Commissioner Siegel.
So good morning. Yeah, I think in terms of, the governor is, I think, appropriately being cautious about how much changes he makes through executive order to laws and regulations. There's obviously a legislative process for permanent changes. And so the idea would be, if there needs to be somewhat of an extension, it should correspond with the declared public health emergency, and not go well past that date. So ultimately, it is up to the governor's office whether they want to issue an executive order to extend it at all. I think they're much more likely to if they see that it's more narrowly tailored. So, as I explained to the electrical board, process here is, depending on what the recommendation the board makes is, but if it's similar to electrical, DCP would put together what would make sense as a proposed executive order to implement that and send it to the governor's office for their consideration. So it's certainly not a guarantee that it happens, but we would certainly pass it along and let them know that this is something the board has recommended and kind of take it from there. But I do think keeping it narrowly tailored to correspond with the declared emergency would be more well received.
Can I make a suggestion, Chuck? This is Joyce. It seems that we don't need to put the date in there if it is tied to the public health emergency, because my concern is that it is likely to get extended beyond February 9th. And then we have to come back and have this discussion once again if it does. So if we just simply tie it to the duration of the public health emergency, is it necessary to have the date?
And that would be a question for the commissioner.
Yeah, I think, and I believe the way the electrical board did it is that the modification would remain in effect for the duration of the public health and civil preparedness emergency. So that's certainly a way to just tie it to the declared emergency.
Right, and just eliminate February 9th, 2021, because we just don't want to have this discussion all over again.
That would certainly be a way if the emergency is extended and the governor's office just wanted to continue extending this. The language wouldn't complicate that.
Exactly.
At some point also, hopefully people will, it's online's available, will get their CEs taken in and taken care of.
I'll make a motion to extend it to follow suit with the electrical board.
Second.
Okay, you want to make a motion? Melissa, do you want to make a motion or anything and have the guys vote on it, or?
Jay, just make the motion?
I did.
Yes.
So you're going to make the motion based on the language that's in the minutes?
Electrical board. Follow the electrical board.
So I'm not clear. Does the electrical board have the date?
Yeah.
Because I actually
They
was
do
suggesting
have
that
the
the
date.
date not be in there.
To modify the motion to reflect that the extension will last as long as the civil emergency order.
I would second that.
Okay. So what I'll do is, if you don't mind, everybody, I'm just going to read it. The board recommends that the executive orders 7GGG and 7EEE be modified to extend the deadlines for plumbers to complete their continuing education requirements and for course providers to continue offering both the in-person and interactive online courses. This modification should take effect immediately and remain in effect for the duration of the public health and civil preparedness emergency dated February 9th, 2021. We have a motion and a second.
Wait,
do we have
Chuck,
any oh, I'm sorry.
Can I clarify that?
Yeah.
This is Joyce. So I seconded it because I thought we were deleting the February 9th, 2021. I was just gonna, everything you said, except not the date, because that gives us the ability to extend if the public health emergency goes beyond February 9th, which I believe it will be extended, then whatever we approve is still valid.
But I thought Vinny made that comment though, didn't you, Vinny?
That's correct. So what Joyce is saying, just leave the date off just for the duration of the public health and civil preparedness emergency period and leave it that way. That way it's open to as long as the governor extends it.
Exactly. That's what I thought I was seconding.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I have a question for the commissioner. Say we do that, Commissioner, then it just stays the way it is. Do we have to, based on this eliminating the date, then vote when the governor declares that this preparedness emergency is over? Or does it just follow the governor's preparedness emergency being over?
It would, so the way it's written, it would sort of end at the end of the declared emergency. I mean, the way they dealt with this, because we're obviously in round 2 of the declared emergency, is so things, they went executive order by executive order and chose which ones to extend for the second declared emergency. Because that's, you know, when this whole thing started, nobody imagined there'd ever be an emergency lasting more than 6 months. And here we are. So a lot of the executive orders that came out March, April of this year had similar language that they were going to extend through the duration of the emergency. And the governor's office would just choose which ones to extend.
So it would just, we wouldn't need to readdress it. When the governor says it's over, then.
Yeah, the way this is written, if the emergency ends, then that's when this would end. It would get a little quirkier if the emergency is extended. Obviously, the board could meet and say, we want to continue extending this. There may come a point in time where you guys decide, well, during the emergency, we want to continue taking online, but people need to wrap it up and get the last year's CEs in, or you may decide, no, we want to extend everything out as long as there's this emergency going on. We don't want a CE deadline in the way.
Okay.
So it could be an opportunity in February to revisit it if we're at that point, or it could be that, you know, the governor's office makes an executive decision, so to speak.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Okay, do we have to vote on the amendment first?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the amendment, the first amendment is, the vote is, can somebody repeat the motion?
The amendment was by Vinny and seconded by Joyce.
So it's just to eliminate the date. I don't think we need to read the whole thing again, right?
If Vinny, read what you were proposed.
Basically, take what you have there, the agenda, and after the word emergency, make a period, leave out the February 9th date.
And I second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Deny?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry,
Aye.
deny?
Oh.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, very good. All right, now we have to vote on the motion.
Aye.
And
Wait.
I vote.
okay, and do we have to discuss the motion again before we vote? Or all
I
in
think
favor?
we can move the motion.
Okay. We have a who made the motion again?
Jay made the motion.
Jay, okay. And who seconded it?
Either Melissa or I seconded it.
Chris did.
Okay, okay. Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Deny? Okay, so moved. Okay. Okay, so we left the date out. We put a period after emergency. Thank you, Vinny. And okay, I've got some news I wanted to share with everybody. We had under new business, we had a board member resign in the past week or two. His name is Carl Schaefer. Carl had worked for the gas company in the Hartford area for many years. You know, he served 12 honorable years on our board. Carl is fine. I spoke with, he tried to call me back. I spoke with his wife when I was able to reach her. He's going to miss this board. He is fine, healthy as ever. We all know how old he is. He's still, God bless him, playing baseball, doing his thing. He's taken his knowledge of what he's gained from our plumbing board and what he's learned in these years and has taken it back to his town and is honorably working on 2 501c3 nonprofit groups in his town at this time that needed help during this whole COVID situation. He felt it was that he needed to bring his town and take care of his town. And he still has his funeral home job too. So he extends his thanks to everybody on the board. And of course, I want to extend our thanks to him. I will be sending him a card, and after COVID ends, I've asked his wife to allow me to come up and take him out for lunch to catch up with all the years and the great stories that we've done. I think I've done that pretty much with everybody throughout the years. I've tried to anyhow. So at this point, you know, I always like to throw a big party for everybody at the steakhouse in Hartford, but we kind of can't do that right now. So. But again, Carl, if you're out there and see this Zoom meeting in the future on video, I want you to know how much we appreciate it. And if anybody wants to share any stories of Carl, please do, maybe at this time.
I just want to say best of luck, Carl. And you're doing a great job, and keep on going on those trips you go on.
I agree. I think I've learned a lot from Carl, and I think that he's doing, you know, retiring in the way that we'd all love to retire. So good for you, Carl. Thanks.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Carl.
Thanks, Carl. A lot of years of service, a lot of tempered and even-handed decision-making.
Good luck, Carl. Even though we were both on opposite sides of the gas meter, I still respected you.
Oh, Jimmy. Gee, point of delivery versus the yeah, I get it, Jimmy.
That's funny.
That is a good one. That's a good one. NFPA 54 all the way, right?
Yep, you got it.
Absolutely. Hey,
hey, Chuck, could I say something?
Yeah. Sure, Mike, go ahead.
I mean, I might be a little off topic a little bit, but you know, I think everybody on this board, you might be members of different associations. If the board wanted to chip in and get them a plaque, I have no problem as my association chipping in money to help pay for that plaque.
I agree. That's nice. That'd be a very nice gesture.
Yeah, let me word some stuff up, guys. Throw it back at you. And and I'll order a plaque with everybody's permission, because, you know, at the end of the day, do you really get a thank you letter, you know, thanking your time and everything? It's something to have on. I agree, Mike. You know what? Long overdue. We should recognize long-term board members for their achievements on and taking the time. You know, it's all the trips to Hartford, all these years and away. You know, it's well, yeah. Let me put together something, guys, if that's all right with you. I'll get some language done first. Get it to you. Commissioner, is Michelle still there?
Yeah, sorry, had to unmute.
Yeah, no worries. In that plaque, can I use, or do I have to get permission from the Secretary of State, Merrill, to put a Connecticut emblem, a beautiful Connecticut emblem that we have on that plaque when we, if the board dedicates a plaque for Carl? Can we use the symbol, the state seal?
I'm not sure. We can look into that and see what would be involved in that.
There's a state symbol, if you want to call it that, but it looks like a seal. But there's also the state seal, which is oval. So I think the round one you can use if the commissioner agrees. The one that's oval is really the state seal with the three grapevine vines on poles. So that one's the Secretary of State permission one. But the other one, the generic state symbol that gets used commonly, I think you might be all right with.
Chuck, why don't we reach out to the governor's office, since he has been appointed by different governors over the years? Maybe the governor's office will issue some type of plaque. I know they certainly do it, you know, for a lot of different people out in the public.
Yeah, well, you know, they've always had the proclamation too, Mike, you know, with the nice gold seal with that, you know, with the whole 9 yards. And that's really impressive. We can look into that as well. I can also reach out to the Secretary of the State as well. I know she's very busy this week, but to at the point to try to reach out to her, because I believe I had asked Richard this question many years before, who can allow the use of the Connecticut, the beautiful seal that we have. And it's her. So perhaps, you know, but Mike, now that I think about it, the governor's office is another good lead to get a proclamation. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to bring it up at the heating board. I think all the boards, regardless of our beliefs, all the boards should follow suit. And when someone decides to leave any of the boards, they really should be recognized.
Agreed. Agreed.
Hey, Chuck, if memory serves me correct, I think we did this years ago when John Sullivan from Winsted retired. I remember we took him out to lunch in Hartford, and I think there was a proclamation from the governor's office that we presented to him and his wife that day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got one for him. I did get one for John. I think I may have got that from my legislator. I think the late Senator Eileen Daly was able to do that for me through the department, through the legislature. Yeah, I think that was through the legislature, not the governor's office.
Okay, yeah, that name rings a bell now too. Nice.
Yeah, we made a plaque. Remember, I got a plaque, a big thing made up, and
correct.
I don't know if I got it so many years ago. The mind goes. Yeah.
Chuck, if you wanted to reach out to Alan as well, I know she's handled getting proclamations before. I don't know what the process is during COVID for these things, but you have her contact information, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll give her a heads up that you may be reaching out. I have a call with her later this afternoon.
I wish I had a copy of that proclamation for John. Yeah. I appreciate it, Commissioner. Is Alan working from home, or is she at work if I call her, or better?
She's
probably
working remotely. Yeah, if you want to,
I'll email her. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, if you want to email her, and I have a meeting with her. I'll try to remember just early this afternoon, so I'll give her a heads up. Great,
and they're great with the language. They are very good. The people that write these proclamations are very, very good at what they do as well. Okay. With that said, does anybody have any other comments for the board today?
I do, Chuck.
Okay.
I'd like to know where we stand on the AG's office attending hearings. I noticed you guys were on some of the emails, and then you got left off of other emails where I was told to reach out to Ellen. So Commissioner, I'm assuming that's the same Ellen. You weren't on the emails, obviously. You're busier than that.
No, Melissa, I think you might have, it's Alan. Alan is you might be thinking of.
Okay,
Ellen,
wrong person.
Ellen, I think you're thinking of Assistant Attorney General Alan Meskel.
Okay,
I think
so
that's what
my
you're
question
thinking of.
is, I've been pushing this because, as we talked about in the other meetings, the AG's office, you know, that was kind of put on us that they're supposed to attend the hearings when we went through the whole board reorganization a couple years ago, whatever you want to call it. And I don't understand why the AG's office can't tune in by Zoom from their living room. So I don't know how the rest of you feel.
I agree with you, Millis.
We've had, was it, I think all the boards share one attorney general, Raul, if I'm not mistaken. I've had to reach out to him on other issues involving the board, as you know, back a couple years ago, after we were working on the MOUs and stuff like that. We reached out to Raul. At this point, I'm not sure where he stands, but I think that the information, Melissa, that you had shared to the department to reach out to the assistant attorney general, you know, that if we get an answer, we should follow up with, that was with Paulette, am I correct?
Paulette referred me to Ellen Meskel to get an answer. So we're about to start a hearing. I just want to know if the state's going to abide by its own policy.
I think the Attorney General wants requests from the board to attend. It isn't as well received when it's just DCP saying, will you show up at our meeting? And I thought that's where it got left off, is that the boards were going to reach out directly to their Attorney General there and request for them to attend.
Oh, that's good.
I listened in even on the training, and that's where it left off, is the board chairs, when there was a hearing, or if they wanted the Attorney General attending a hearing, we're going to request it. So I don't know if there's subsequent conversations with Paulette, but that's the last I heard, is that it was sort of the boards and the Attorney General communicating.
Okay, so Chuck, it's on you then.
You got it. You got
Thank
it.
you.
I'll reach out to Assistant Attorney General Meskel,
Thank you.
And ask her to see if Raul could possibly or an agency person from the Attorney General's office be at our meeting.
Yeah, and you may want to send them the link to the hearing too, so that they're sure to have it.
Can I allow Karen to do that, Commissioner? Can I have her send that link to the interested party at the Attorney General's office?
I think the requests for attorney representation are going to be better received if it's coming from the board itself, and it doesn't sound like a DCP lawyer is asking the AG to attend. It sounds like it's the board itself that wants it, and I think it's going to work better that way. I mean, you certainly can just forward the email from Karen.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you want to, I guess, copy somebody from here on that. But I do think they see you as their client. And so I think that's going to be the more effective way to kind of communicate that.
That's great advice. And so Chuck, if you just copy Karen so that she's in the loop, and she could probably forward it after you make that request, and I mean, that would be fine.
Of course.
In regards to that, Terry, this is for formal hearings. So Terry Jo Powell sets up the formal hearings. So Chuck, you need to send an email to Eileen Meskel and maybe CC Raul requesting that they attend, and CC Terry Jo on that. And then if they accept or are going to without an argument, then Terry Jo can send them an invite to their own email specifically. And this brings up another point. Right now on the screen, Michael Rosario is showing up as Peter Alfieri. So I think, Michael, if you could just say that you're Michael Rosario and journeyman member of the board, and not Peter Alfieri, you know, possibly you got an email forwarded to you from Peter and you clicked on it, so that now comes up as his name.
Yeah, I was in Pete's office and they said, oh, you know, we have a plumbing board meeting in 5 minutes. I said, oh, if you have the invite, could you send it to me? I'd like to just go on and observe. I mean,
so this is what happens.
If you don't want me to, and going forward, I won't.
Yeah, this is what happens when people forward invites to give it to somebody else is that it ends up being their name drags along with it, you know? So
Gotcha. What I can do is if when the invites go out, if I'm around and if I think I could attend, I'll just email Karen.
Yeah, she could always, Karen, if it's a formal hearing, it'd be Terry Jo. If it's a regular board meeting, it's Karen. And maybe they could re-forward it to you if you've lost it or missing it.
And that's up to the board. That's up to Chuck and all the board members. I mean, if you don't want me here, I won't log on. I'm not.
No, I think that brings up a very good point. I think that brings up a very good point. I don't think we're saying we don't want you there. It just can't say Pete, you're representing Pete. But that brings up another question, Richard. How's the general public attend the hearing then? Because
it's in several places. It's on, sorry, Richard.
Oh, it is?
Okay. It's on the Secretary of State website on the agenda, and it's on the DCP website on the agenda.
So there's a link?
Yeah, on the agenda we put the link, which is then to the Secretary of State in the DCP website.
Okay. And if you look right now, if you know how to click on down below where it says participants, the side screen comes up and it shows you who the panelists are, and then you move your mouse over to the right, it says attendees. Right now we have one attendee, Peter Kelly, and he probably just clicked on the agenda that was posted.
Okay.
As a public person.
Yeah.
But anyway, Michael Rozzero, if you could just say that you're Michael Rozzero and not as otherwise indicated.
Well, I'll go through. I'll either click on the link or whatever. I'll just, next time I attend, I'll just make sure I do it the right way.
No, I mean for the record now, just so, because it's recorded.
Michael Rosario.
Thank you.
I guess you could say I'm just an observer.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Rich. Okay, I think I got it. So I'll CC Terry Jo when I reach out to Raul and Attorney General, both Attorney Generals. They're both Assistant Attorney Generals, Eileen and Raul. Okay. Does anybody else have any more comments for the board today?
Nope.
With that said, we've got some. Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Deny. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for attending.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody, stay safe. Wear your PPE.